We're waiting. Oh, there he is. There he is. We're going to let him go first because he has limited time. And I've made co-host of Greg and Kristen and Linda if they need to help me out here. Okay. Do we have you, Brian?
Yes, if you can hear me.
We do. Well, we're really glad that you were able to make it. And thank you for your service and everything that you're doing. So we're going to start right out because I know you have limited time. And we'd like to hear about Zone Haven and Code Red. And a lot of people have questions. They don't understand how it works or how the zone system works and all of that kind of stuff. So you want to just start in with a short explanation and then people can ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys getting me on comms? Am I good?
Oh, I see you. There you are. Coming in loud and clear.
Okay, so Zone Haven, one of the things that the question that keeps getting asked is how are people going to know their zone when there is an incident? So that zone will be connected to a code red. So if we have an example of, I know mine, which is ETA 2813, or ETN 2813. So if we have an incident in Etna, that is going to be pushed out with a code red, and it's going to say zone ETN 2813 warning, and that from that point on, we're going to push any additional if there's an order or what that might look like. The problem that we're seeing or people are not catching is as how to operate or how to see their zone. So we did create a video, Giselle, and I don't know if I sent that to you, but I also have it in a non-Facebook form, so we can post it as a YouTube video as well. And one of the things that I was working on is pushing it out to the news agencies to see if they could run a little blurb about it. It's a quick video, it's 58 seconds. So it's just how to do it and what to do once you get into Zone Haven aware and understand your zone. That's the one thing that we are not doing. So I have gotten a few phone calls about that, is that I don't know your zone because I don't know your address. And I think that's the information piece that we're really trying to push out more, is that once you put your address in there, that's your zone. It's not going to change. If you may have a work zone where you work, and then also where, we have a split family where dad lives and where mom lives, those might be two different zones as well. And I think just moving forward, that's going to be our big push here in the next few days, is just trying to making sure that message is being pushed. And
so that link, I can put it on our Facebook too. I don't recall that we got it, but if you will put that, even if you can, I don't know if you can put it in chat, we could capture it here. But yeah,
I think I can.
That would be great. And then people can capture it tonight.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So do you guys have questions? Go ahead, raise your hand and we'll let you in, and you can ask Brian whatever you want to ask him about how this system operates and how you can learn more, and if you have other questions. No questions?
Okay, wow.
Oh,
I didn't think I briefed.
What, Linda?
Yeah, I have just a comment. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. And just want to follow up to see if we can get more materials. I know you have magnets.
Yes.
But we want to be able to take those out in neighborhoods as we plan more neighborhood outreaches. We want to make sure that we can maybe give those magnets. I know CAL FIRE also printed up a small handout that had Zone Haven on one side and Code Red on the other. Is that
yes, we have those.
You have those?
Yeah, so, we also have I just ordered, I think on Friday, stickers that are the same as the magnets. My magnet or my refrigerator isn't magnetic. I didn't know that. So those are one of the things that we also have as well. So we're going to have a big roll of stickers and a few other little items to hand out. And yeah, and I can certainly run that down. I'll be back late Friday night, but we can take care of that.
Ryan, are you going to have
Refrigerator,
that?
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, are you going to have that stuff available at the fair?
Yes, absolutely. So that's going to be the big plan. Like Cal Fire and I, along with Sheriff, will have our booth and make sure that everyone's getting that message out at the fair.
That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And is there a time that maybe you could stop in at the next maybe supervisors meeting with some of that swag and hand it out?
Absolutely, of course.
That
One
would
of the
be-
other things I've been doing is pushing it at all of the post office.
Oh,
We
good
have
idea.
a big laminated, and then meeting up with city planners and city officials for each area. I was working on that, and then I got COVID. But
Yeah.
our plan was to get each one of those out. I know the Valley, we have out in the post office, we have a big Zone Haven Know Your Zone campaign. I pushed it to a few other areas, and our goal is to try to get it out to South County, Mount Shasta, Dunsmuir, everything else.
Yeah, City of Wairika, probably a city council meeting would be great too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, anything like that would be good, because I know that any of the council members would be happy to hand that kind of stuff out for you, or at least know about it so they could talk about it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure that gets taken care of.
Super, thank you.
Of course.
So in chat, Jennifer from the Klamath National Forest comments that it's been working, the handouts have been working well. And I agree, we've been at all of our events, we've been trying to push that, and that's where we've been getting a lot of questions. And so, but those people don't seem to be here tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we got the handout from Jen Erickson at the Gold Rush Days up in Wairika, so we've been making copies of that, but it'd also be nice to get a PDF emailed of it, so we have a digital
Sure.
copy. That would be great. And yeah, I mean, we've been out there, it seems like almost every weekend at all the different community events all over the place, and we've probably given out, a couple hundred of those between all the different
Excellent.
and people, yeah, I mean, 99% of the people obviously hadn't heard of Zone Haven, so they seemed like they were on board with the handout to get signed up. So
Excellent. And what was, I'm sorry, I just throw me an email and I can send that out to you as well as a PDF if you're needing that.
sure, yeah, I'll send you an email requesting that.
Okay, great. And Brian, this is Linda from Dunsmuir. If it's easy, I can pick them up or meet you, and I can make sure they get to the chief, the fire chief, the city, and our volunteer groups.
Yeah, Linda, easy. I can make that trip as well. I don't
Okay.
I don't mind. It's anytime I can get to South County as well. It's nice. So
Okay, just let me know if you're down here.
yep, I will be making all those rounds on Monday, Tuesday of next week.
Okay, great. Thank you.
This is Marlene Ludlow. I'm just wondering, okay, we're supposed to know our zone. Now, are we supposed to like register this with somebody or just know our zone?
No, ma'am. So your zone is yours. You do not have to register. That's Zone Haven is what the county has incurred that cost. All you have to do is just know your zone. So you just know your the 4-digit numbers that's associated with whether if you're in an incorporated area, it'll be a town. And if it's not, it'll just say CIS, whatever that might be, 1015, for example. That's all you got to know is just know your zones. When that gets pushed to Code Red, that zone will be in there. And one thing I really like about Zone Haven is that it has a user face for you. So if you're looking during a fire, you can get real-time updates on what the county's doing and who and what is getting evacuated. I think that is the best part, especially for everybody in the county, because they can see where the temporary shelters are up. There's a feature that just came online that it's going to show the fire perimeters. It's 100% real time, and it's better than us trying to update it on GIS. It's already integrated into it through satellites and everything else.
So you
Great.
say they can see it. Where do they see it at? On their
So
phone?
Yeah, there's a phone integration, a computer. It's Zone Haven community. I'll put it in that chat. I don't want to misspeak on that one, but I'll put it in the chat. It's your user face, so it's however you want to look at it.
This was on Facebook somewhere. I mean,
Yes, it was.
because I looked it up and actually I put it in my phone under Z for Zone, so I wouldn't forget. Okay,
Perfect.
that's good to know. So that's all I need. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. Absolutely.
Great.
ma'am.
Anything else? Let's see, there's something in chat. Oh, Greg suggests that we put some of those handouts at the farmers markets as well.
Okay,
Oh,
great. Yeah, we'll do that. And when is the farmers market? Is that the Mount Shasta Farmers Market? I know Wairika has one.
Mount Shasta's on Mondays, starting at
Okay.
3, I think. Yeah.
Dunsmuir
Great,
has
perfect.
one on Thursdays.
Okay. I have no problems bringing those down. I can also get some vegetables, so it would work out perfect. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have some sort of, the market manager, usually they have like an actual market headquarters booth, that would be the place to.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
All right, you guys, I'm leaving my video off because my internet's unstable and you keep locking up, so that helps a little bit. So any more questions? Gone. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian, and enjoy your time with your unit there. And again, thank you for that.
Of course.
All right. So the next thing on the list is a core update. Is Mary here?
Mary and Kathleen are here.
All right. Would y'all like to give us a little bit of an update on what core has been up to? Tell them what core is briefly, and then talk about what you're doing.
Yeah, give me 1 second, sorry.
Yeah, so while they're getting their stuff together, core is Mary Bizzacco, and she is with Core International, and Kathleen Shirley is also here. She's a Dunsmuir resident, teacher out at the Dunsmuir Elementary School, and she's the outreach coordinator for Core.
Yes, thank you so much, Linda. Yeah, so I am Mary Bizzacco. I'm the project manager. And an update. So we have been now working in the field for about 2 weeks now. We just officially finished, we'll say our second large site. We cleared 20 cubic yards of debris. And we have 3 other sites in progress. And that's for defensible space. We haven't started home hardening yet, but yeah, and hopefully we'll be bringing on another crew member on board starting Monday to help with that. Kathleen, do you want to add anything?
Well,
we are still looking for volunteers, and today we
some of their work, it looks really nice, and they are hard workers. Between Kathleen and Mary, I'm so impressed with what they do, and Scott too. But they worked out there yesterday in the hot sun, and they just kept moving along and got a lot done. So, and it's what a service to the community of Dunsmuir to be able to help these people that can't help themselves. So thank you, you all.
Did Kathleen have something else to share?
I was just saying that we are in the process of looking for volunteers. We have volunteer flyers out all over the place, and it seems like it's coming to fruition now. We're starting to get calls from people and groups who want to help us. So I'm hoping that that pans out to more than just 3 or 4 of us doing the work.
That's great.
Also, the information for volunteering is on the Fire Safe Council's Facebook. So if you want to go there, you can get the contact info. It's got a QR code, and join up, help out. Any other comments? Any questions for CORE? All right, moving along. Nancy, give us an update.
I already did.
Well, that was before the meeting.
Let's see. I guess I can go back over that really quickly. I spent 2 days at it's called RERC, Recreational Economic. I did it again, I forgot. Rural communities, and basically recreational economies for rural communities. And it was a 2-day workshop. We had federal, state agencies involved, a lot of local people, our city manager, a couple of county representatives, all across the board. I think we had 25 or 30 people. We had a charter bus that took us all around Wairika, up to Collier Interpretive Center at Collier Rest Stop. We had lunch at Greenhorn. Basically what we were doing for 2 days, and we have a bunch of follow-up meetings, is trying to look forward to trying to boost Wairika and turning it into basically a hub for the spokes for recreational economy for all of Siskiyou County. Looking at trying to bring in tourism and boost the economy, and look at Minor Street and Main Street and try to figure out how we can look to the future to try to increase not only merchant accessibility, but how we can make things look better, more enticing to tourists, try to get the word out, not only in Siskiyou County, but all over the state and all over the north region, to try to bring in more people into the area. So it's pretty forward thinking kind of workshop. It was really neat, and a lot of really great connections and collaboration going on, not only with tribal and cultural workshops and people that we haven't been able to connect with before, but also federal and state agencies. So it was a lot of fun. It was really interesting. Also working on some projects with ORCAL RC&D and NCRP North Coast Resource Partnership, looking at some juniper projects in the area, trying to look at funding for that. Also working on homeless issues around, also working on water issues, which is of course first and foremost in the area, looking at forest and fire resiliency, just a lot of things going on right now. It's busy time of year. So I'll just leave it at that. I could keep talking, but I won't.
Well, yeah, you got a lot to talk about, man. You're doing some good things. So keep it up, keep going forward, and just keep us informed. If we can help, let us know.
I will.
Okay, next up, CAL FIRE. Anybody here from CAL FIRE? They might all be out on a fire. I understand there's a fire out in Pondosa, and I think they all headed that direction. So probably nobody here tonight. So U.S. Forest Service, KNF, Jen?
Okay, you got me?
I gotcha.
Okay, I'm going to keep my video off because I have weak internet. And I do know that Susie Brady is on vacation, so that might be another reason why no one is here from CAL FIRE. So speaking for the Klamath, 4th of July was pretty quiet. We had delightful rain all around the forest, and it was great. Lots of cover resources have been here over the last couple weeks. We've been hosting crews and engines all over the forest, and we've also had some extra patrols too. So lots of folks and hardly any business. So was great. We are sending folks onto down on assignments to the Inyo National Forest, out BLM country east of Susanville there, and then we've got some folks en route to Texas to support some fires out there. So we didn't get any fires out of the last lightning storm. We flew recon 3 or 4 times after a couple days of drying, and nothing was showing. So things are continuing to dry out, obviously, with this hot weather, but the higher elevations still have green grass. I was up at Martin's Dairy about a week ago. So green up there, just beautiful. Let's see, we're bringing on our Type 1 helicopter on Friday. So that'll be out at Siskiyou. And then I do have some news on the Siskiyou tanker base. Right now, the forest is working with the county on some improvements out there. They're filling in a bunch of the cracks in the runway and the taxiway. And they're also going to install a new pump on the well out there, which is going to increase the amount of water that's available for the pumping we need to mix retardant. So that's great. We had our tanker base review on July 1st. So that's when the regional aviation folks come out and kind of certify us. And they found that the current tanks that we have, we can't use. It's a pretty old system. So right now we're soliciting a contract to drain the tanks that we have, and then they'll be inspected once they're drained, and the final determination will be made if we need new tanks or if we can keep rolling with the ones that we have with some updates. So the short of the story is that we will not be able to use our retardant plant that we have there this year. Next year, we anticipate having increased capacity. But this year, if we do have a need for retardant, we'll be bringing in a mobile retardant plant to support anything. But, we are fortunate. We're right between Medford and Reading. They both have significant tanker bases, and they're pretty close to us. So just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. We're looking at, we're working on modifying our agreements with our local fire department. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we're getting close to implementing work on the McKinley Scott Climate Change Investment Grant project, and that's on the Scott Bar Mountain Ridge system. So it's a bunch of previous NEPA covers that area. We've been working out there for years on that ridge, and this grant is going to fund treatments both on federal lands and then adjacent private lands. So for the Forest Service, we're looking at doing service contracts for hand piling, pile burning, and then prescribed fire as well. Let's see. We did recently get some bids around that for burn assistance contracts. So we've made awards to private contractors for that. The last thing I have is Kimberly Duvall, our public affairs officer, is taking a detail to the regional office, and I will be detailing behind her into the public affairs job. We are flying a detail behind me, and that's where we're at. So I think I'll be switching over into that role probably in August, and I will still be here representing the Klamath on these calls. Anybody have any questions?
Well, I'm impressed. You're doing a lot of really good stuff, Jennifer. Thank you. And thank you for joining us and helping us out on several of our outreaches, including the Gold Rush. And you're just, you're a dynamo. You're really a good presenter and talker to people. People love you. So anyway.
Well, I really have enjoyed working with you guys too, and I can't wait to get back together again.
Yeah, well, we've got some things coming up we're hopeful we can join you with, including the fair. in August. So
Sounds good.
is there a Shasta T person here tonight? I think they're all out on different fires and duties and whatever it is. So we heard from OES. Mike Wilson is California Fire Safe Council here. Don't see him. The RCD and Prescribed Burn Association. Lindsay, that's you. You're up.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, so Shasta Valley RCD, we've been busy. We have a number of contractors out in the woods, and you may have noticed the work we're working on between Azalea and Dunsmuir on the east side of I-5. There's been a contractor out there removing the small trees and brush and opening it up to reduce some of those ladder fuels and fuel hazards, to reduce any fire spread from anything that might start on I-5 there. The work is still not quite finished. The contractors are still working to finish up some of the finishing touches and some of the areas that are a little bit harder to access. So over the next week or so, there'll still be equipment and crews out there. So just be cognizant and careful when traveling northbound from Dunsmuir. And then also this week in the north part of the county, we started logging on our Deadwood Stewardship Sale in the Klamath National Forest as part of the Craggy Project, Good Neighbor Authority partnership between the Klamath National Forest and CAL FIRE and the RCD. And so we have a local logging contractor who's out there who started cutting the trees, and that's a stewardship sale. So you know, most of the trees aren't very merchantable, and we're just cutting the smaller diameter trees and leaving the large dominant trees and just spacing them out, again, kind of removing those ladder fuels and reducing that fuel continuity out in the forest. And so there will be log trucks coming down through Hawkinsville. So if anyone's kind of traveling out there in the Humbug area, just be aware that there's some logging activities out there. So just be safe. And with all the work we got going, we've actually been able to hire 2 new employees at the RCD, which we're really excited about, to help us with all our forestry projects. So Michael McGill and Jerry Jordan will be coming on board full-time this month. So you might be seeing them around on different projects or out in the community working for us. So we're very excited to have more capacity to keep doing the good work. And one of those projects they're going to really be helping on is that McKinley Scott project that Jen mentioned. We're partnering with the forest on that and the timber companies, as well as Siskiyou County and Oregon State on that project for that cross-boundary fuel break along that primary ridge in the Scott Mountains. And so we've been starting the pre-treatment monitoring and doing environmental compliance out there, and hope to be able to hit the ground after the summer season and start getting work done on that project. And additionally, we've been working on the environmental compliance for that West Mount Shasta Forest Resiliency project, and similar timeline, trying to start to hit the ground fall, winter times, but just trying to get through all the CEQA and permitting and everything to be able to get started on work. And then in terms of the Siskiyou Prescribed Burn Association side of things, there's a couple of fire trainings that are going to be happening this in the next couple of months in Siskiyou County that we're helping to support. One is Torch Bear, who's a new nonprofit and partner of the Siskiyou PBA, is doing a fire school training next month. And there's been a lot of interest, and I understand they might be having to kind of cap out participants, but if anyone is interested, feel free to reach out and sign up, because, if there's interest, we'll keep helping to support these trainings and build that local capacity for prescribed fire. And then in the fall, there's a few TREX events, the Prescribed Fire Training Exchange programs, that one of which is actually going to be a women's TREX that's focused on Indigenous women's burning for cultural materials. And then there's also just going to be a second traditional TREX program, and they might also do another pile burn focused TREX later in the season once the rains start. So those are going to be located down in the Happy Camp and Orleans areas of the Klamath Mountains. And I have some flyers for those trainings that I'll try to put in the chat here that'll have more information if anybody wants to participate in those. And other than that, I don't have any other updates unless anyone has any questions.
Lindsay, what is TREX? Is that an acronym? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so in fire, and I guess in natural resources, we like to make acronyms for everything. But TREX, it stands for Training Exchange. So the TR from training and the EX from exchange. And so it's the Prescribed Fire Training Exchange. And it's a program designed by the Nature Conservancy's Fire Learning Network. And it's been around for a while, and different local organizations partner with the Nature Conservancy to host these TREXs all over the country. I've been a part of them in Ashland and Nebraska and Washington and all over the place. And they're generally designed kind of as like a 2-week fire assignment, like a wildfire assignment would be, but it's focused on prescribed burning, and particularly training in different positions within the kind of fire hierarchy, and the task books and training requirements that you have to go through, and the experience and proficiency you have to show in order to, become an engine boss or firing boss or burn boss or, whatever position within fire. But now actually a number of organizations have started kind of revising that traditional 2-week TREX model. I know that there's a lot of other PBAs in California that have been developing this CalTREX model that is more of kind of like different weekends of fire trainings. And I know that the Butte PBA and Plumas Underburn Cooperative have partnered with the Watershed Research and Training Center to do a lot of those programs.
Cool, thank you.
All right.
That's awesome.
Hey, Scott, I see that you commented in chat. Would you like to say anything about TREX or that program or your program?
No, I was just providing some feedback for what TREX was, and that's the link to the Nature Conservancy that I work for also. No, I think Lindsay hit everything on the head. It's nice not being in suppression, but actually sitting down and talking with homeowners and writing burn plans this time of year for the exciting fall and winter burning. So thank you.
Yeah, and just a side note, Scott of Torchbearer is also working with CORE on their project in Dunsmuir, and he's been very helpful. And thank you for that, Scott.
Thank you.
Moving on, anyone from the Karuk tribe? No. NRCS? No, I don't see you. And let's speak up if you're here. The sheriffs? No. Pacific Power, I know they're having some mandatory shutoffs in the North County tonight. Because of expected storms and lightning. Eric, don't see him. I think I mentioned him already. Scott River Watershed Council, anybody here tonight? CHP, no. Siskiyou County Natural Resources update. Nancy, do we have a person in that position?
Which one?
The natural resources
Resources.
position? I
We
think she
do.
moved on and I never heard if they got another one or not.
For the county or
Yes, it's the county. Siskiyou County Natural Resources.
Elizabeth Nielsen?
Yeah, she used to be, and it was
She
before
still
that
is.
was Rick. Oh, she still is? I heard she went to administration and,
Well, she's still natural resources though.
oh, she is.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll try to reach out to her again. Stevens funding, no new news. Does anybody have any updates on that? Jennifer, have you heard if it's going to open or if they're going to award? We have a couple of them in there, but I haven't heard whether there's any recent awards. We have some past awards.
Not that I'm aware of. I did touch bases with Clint before this, and I think he would have mentioned it to me, but I can follow up and see.
Okay. And the bioregional is not here that I can tell. Forest Management Task Force, I don't have an update from them. They usually have a meeting about once a month, and I haven't seen that notification, so don't know. So now we're going to move into Fire Safe Council updates. Black Mountain, Joey, do you want to say anything about Black Mountain? He probably can't hear me right now. So I'm going to Dunsmuir.
Okay, yes, I can report on Dunsmuir. This is Linda. Let me start. All right, yeah, I've mostly been busy trying to support CORE and help them become successful. So I really want to reiterate that they've started off with some real difficult challenges. And you saw from Mary's comments, their first site was 16 cubic yards, which was a lot of material from one property. And the next one was, and this one that she just reported on was 20 cubic yards. They're taking out a lot of material. And so we're doing what we can to support CORE because we want them to be successful. So I'm working with the city on better ways we can get rid of green waste, because Dunsmuir really needs to come up with its own solution. And we're working with Mary and CORE on those activities. I'm also looking at some other funding sources that we can bring in to help CORE with the outreach so they can have some additional resources and focus on doing their home hardening and their defensible space work. And then maybe we can come up with some other monies for neighborhood outreach, because the thing that is really important to understand about CORE, and this is a partnership with the Fire Safe Council as well as DPAC, we're trying to do community development here in Dunsmuir to develop a sense of shared commitment and help Dunsmuir become more fire wise. And so we are talking with CORE and meeting regularly with them to try to do some activities to increase our outreach and do some neighborhood development. So that's been keeping me pretty busy, and as well as looking for green waste solutions. And also we're getting ready to work with Giselle and the Fire Safe Council on the Dunsmuir's fuel mitigation project coming up. Once that gets the administration details get finalized, that potentially can start in the fall with doing the CEQA work and working with Giselle on that. But I think that's about it for us right now.
You're doing a lot of really awesome things, and your support of CORE is incredible. And it's been fun working with all of you guys. A lot of interaction and fellowship. It's been good.
It has, and CORE has really gotten a taste of some challenging people, and they've handled it very well.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. So,
yeah.
So Greater Weed, we actually did a outreach at Carnivale, Kristen did. And so we did that on their behalf. And we're trying to get to at least every corner of the county before outreach season is over. So do you have anything to report on how that outreach went, Kristen?
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, it was great. You know, it was, you know, Friday, so it wasn't as, you know, busy as the Saturday events. We usually do these community events on Saturdays, but it actually was nice because it was a lot more engaged, in-depth communication with people, you know, fewer people, but better conversation. And it was really effective, even though, you know, we gave out 35 of our big thick packets of all the information brochures. But people were, you know, really asking a lot of questions and really engaged. So it was definitely an effective outreach. And there was only maybe 10 booths, 10 vendors there, which was a change of pace too. So it was nice.
Kind of nice. So moving on, Hammond's Ranch. I don't think anyone's here. Now, if I'm mistaken, please just speak up because I can't see everybody for sure. So
I will actually say something about Hammond Ranch just as a caveat, because between the Mount Shasta 4th of July festival that we were at, and then also at the last weekend at the Weed Carnivale, I probably got 6 or 7 residents, and then actually this past week just meeting people at like the Land Trust Garden program, also from Hammond Ranch. They want to start a Firewise community. They are like raring to go, and most of them, you know, there's a lot of people with larger acreage, you know, 3, 5, 10 acres, a lot of retired CAL FIRE people out there apparently, and they've already done the work. It's like, you know, really pretty turnkey probably once we learn the framework of it. Everyone was super interested in wanting to coordinate on that,
Yeah,
you know, this fall. So yeah,
that sounds
emails really want to get that going. So
yeah, we're as a Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County, we're encouraging Firewise communities because there's a lot more benefits. It's a bit harder to do, but we're learning how, and I'm hopeful that soon we will have a workshop and be able to help people go through that process. So it's a good thing. And also Randy Glokow is the coordinator for their Fire Safe Council there. And they do have a grant and they are doing fuel mitigation, but I don't know where they're at with that, but there is stuff going on out there. So next, Happy Camp. Kristen's about to go down for a Firewise youth program this Friday. You want to say a few words, Kristen, about that?
yeah, it's been exciting to coordinate with Michael Hens at the Mid-Klamath Watershed Center. And we just talked on the phone yesterday, making some final detail plans. And yeah, it's going to be great. There's the Karuk tribe and the U.S. Forest Service and the local fire districts. There's probably going to be 3 different fire engines there. It's for the Community Resource Center out there. It has a summer camp program with about 25, 30 kids. And they are doing, one of the days is going to be a youth fire science education day. So they were really excited to have us come out. I'm going to take the Defensible Space interactive demonstration board that we take to all of our outreach events that is a real kid magnet. Kids love it. I took it to the Dunsmuir Elementary Summer Camp, summer school with Kathleen Shirley, and it was a huge hit. And we're going to show the Ready Raccoon rap song music video, and the Mid-Klamath Watershed Center actually created a really incredible, longer 20-minute long video with tons of kids in it that is all about prescribed burning, cultural burning. It's really an incredible video. So we're going to show that, read the Ready Raccoon book, and then do these rotation stations with all the other entities that'll be there. So it's the first time that this has been done, but we're hoping it'll become an annual event and grow and keep going after this year. So
educating our kids is really valuable. As we've talked before, if you talk to the kids, they'll talk to their parents. It's some of the best ways to get the message out there. So
and
then
he
we'll
asked
go.
me to bring all the brochures that, like we did with the Dunsmuir Elementary
Yeah.
summer camp. He asked me to bring, so we got to prep all those, get all the different, there's probably 8 or 9 different handouts and brochures that we put in there. So he asked me to bring those to send home with all the parents.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to having really good results from that as well. So thank you, Kristen. Juniper Flat, Margie.
So our grant project is moving along. We've cleared some parcels. The archaeologist was out here last week, cleared another 20. So those are ready for our fuel reduction contractor to come and work on those. There was our evacuation signs were supposed to start this week. There was another delay because of waiting for materials to come in. Did a dog vaccination licensing clinic again. Last month we had about 50 people there, about 50 dogs rather, and that's coming along real well. We're gonna keep doing those every month as long as there's turnout, and seeing a lot of enthusiasm here. Our community really appreciates this. It's making this so easy for them. We have interpreters to interpret with the veterinarian and animal control for their licensing dogs. Siskiyou Ranch has microchipped some and has also signed up some for their spay and neuter program. We attended the Wildland Fire Assessment Program and now certified to help people prioritize the risks. I have some young volunteers to help me go out and visit landowners in person to recruit more people to sign up for the grant project. Really kind of exciting thing that happened this month is, well, it started out not exciting. Last month, the Mount Shasta Vista Property Owners Association had their annual membership meeting. We invited Cal Fire Battalion Chief Kent Cunningham to speak. And this was the first event that we've held in person where he was speaking. There was a man there who was just really very emotional. He kept asking him, why did you let the fire come into our community? Why didn't you come and protect my home? Why didn't you call in air support? Just a lot of questions, kind of blaming Kent for the stuff. So I found this very upsetting. I talked to Kent and also to our home community leader, Mr. Lee, and I said, this is really bad. We're in a dangerous situation out here. We need to trust each other. It's very dangerous if we don't trust each other. So I asked Mr. Lee for his help. He set up a meeting with the elders. There was about a dozen people there. And I made a presentation. I had maps. I had the fire history map. I had data explanations, and I spoke for maybe 15 minutes. And at the end of that, the same man who I had asked Mr. Lee, be sure that man, his name is Powell, be sure Powell is there because he needs to hear this. So at the end of my presentation, he said, oh, I understand you. I was very emotional, but I understand that. So I asked him, would you like to apologize to Chief Cunningham? And he said, yes, I would like that very much. So this past weekend, there was a community gathering. There were hundreds of people there. And we had a little ceremony. So the elders that were at this meeting went back and talked to their clans and explained that we understand now the fire was started by lightning. heroes. And so we had this little ceremony where Mr. Lee had 2 bunches of balloons. And he said, this bunch of balloons represents the lava fire. And this bunch of balloons represents the misunderstandings that came in. And we're going to release them today. So they asked Chief Cunningham he was also there. They asked him to cut those ribbons and release the balloons. And everybody cheered and were real happy. And it was good to see Kent smiling again. It's been a long time with these tensions in the community. And then there were speeches later, and everybody called him a hero and thanked him. He hung around for a while afterwards, which you need to do if you want to work in a community. You need to be part of that community. You need to bond with them. So he ate, he loves Asian food. We hung around and ate and visited. People were coming over the entire time, introducing themselves, shaking his hand, telling him thank you. It's the best thing that has happened to me. So.
Well, Margie, that's an incredible story of peacemaking, and thank you for your efforts in bringing that community together and helping to make peace and helping them to understand it's a difficult task. It's a different culture, and they don't understand, and we don't understand them either, but you've done an excellent job of bridging that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, they really don't understand. People were absolutely amazed when they saw the lava fire map. That was 25,000 acre fire. About 400 acres burned in our subdivision, and people did not realize this wasn't just about Shasta Vista. And it's not at all surprising that they became so paranoid after this fire, because for months preceding the fire, there were people on Facebook every day saying, we ought to go out and burn those people out of there. We need to burn them. And there had actually been several arson attempts. So it's not real surprising.
Well,
give the credit to Mr. Lee. He's the real peacemaker. Done this without him. And Kent Cunningham was very, very gracious and forgave, moved on immediately. And Pal, the man who was so emotional, that takes a big man to stand up in front of hundreds of people and say, I was wrong, I'm sorry. So I think that everybody else in this scenario deserves more credit. Thank you.
I really appreciate your effort.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. I know you're so busy, Margie, but sometime when you have a chance, it'd be amazing to capture that and write that down and share it on the website.
But it's getting late. We need to maybe move. Oh, Lake Shastina, grants are working on. What's that?
I have pictures. I took pictures of Kent cutting the balloons free and watching them sail away. And so I have several pictures of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we'd love to encapsulate that and share it, because that's a really inspiring, really wonderful story. And can't imagine what it would be like out there without you, Margie. You're really, like you said, you're really the bridge.
She's been there so many years that they do trust her, and she does have that opportunity to try to bring some healing and some cooperation and some trust, and appreciate all that she's done to make that happen for fire safety. And that's her focus, fire safety, nothing else.
I've worked with 3 CAL FIRE chiefs now since the nun started moving in. All have exactly the same attitude. This is my community. My job is to keep them safe. They've had no judgment. Whatever else they're doing here is none of my business. They're in my community. You can pick up on that.
Yeah.
This is my community.
You're kind of coming in and out, so I'm not sure, if you're finished. Any questions for Margie? Any more to be said? Well, thank you again, and I'm going to move along to Lake Shastina. They're working on a couple of grants. They also got a fire mitigation grant, and they're doing a chipper days. And then Lower Scott River, that's Perry Daniels, and he just finished putting in 2 5,000-gallon tanks out there for fire suppression, and they're about to charge those. He did that with a RAC grant, and we're real happy to see that come together. McLeod is trying to beef up their fire safe council, and they're going to be having a booth, and Kristen or I or both or whatever will be at Lumberjack Days, the end of the month on 30th, to help support them. I just talked to their president today, and he's really excited about getting the fire safe message distributed there in McLeod. Orleans Soames Bar, they work with Happy Camp, and they're doing always doing awesome things, but they're not here to report. Quartz Valley, no one here. Salmon River, same thing. They've got a lot of good things going on. They're going to celebrate 30 years with the Salmon River Restoration Council that encompasses the Fire Safe Council out there. And they were our mentors in the beginning. Jim Villaponto was one of the original coordinators for the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County 20 years ago. A real mentor and helper to many, many people, including myself. And so we celebrate with them their 30 years. Syed Valley, I haven't heard much from. Wairika, anybody here from Wairika? Okay, and then others present, just a little report on the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County. We are working on some fuel reduction projects in the area. We have the Azalea project that goes from the Azalea overpass to Siskiyou Avenue in Dunsmuir. It's on the west side of the freeway, just opposite of what the RCD just completed, and it looks really nice over there. We hope we can do as well and clean up the other side of the freeway. We've got our contractor out there, but it's been determined that we're going to wait until the weather is cooler and the fire danger is lower before that contractor starts on the east side. So that piece of freeway is going to be really nice and cleaned up. And then we're working on a project with Caltrans for Sequa from Azalea to Truck Village, and that's in process. And then we also in Mount Shasta have the Old Stage fuel reduction project, 160 acres of fuel reduction and defensible space for the folks that live there, and that's coming along nicely. As well as a project in Bray. We're waiting for the final paperwork on that one as well. It's a Stevens project for another 100 or so acres out that way. And we're hopeful to do several more outreaches. We did the 4th of July this month, the Carnivale, doing the Happy Camp Youth, Lumberjack, and the rodeo in Etna. We hope to be able to participate in that. We also had a very successful workshop, the wildfire assessment program. We all learned some new techniques and skills for assessing homes for being fire safe. And we had a 2-day project that was just our workshop that we just learned a lot. And we went out and assessed some homes right there in Dunsmuir where we're having it. So that was really good too. And coming up, I'm excited to say that we have a few more. We hope to get out to Butte Valley during their fair. There's a balloon fair also in September. We're hopeful with Jennifer, maybe, I don't know if she's going to be out there, maybe to participate, I'm not sure. And anyway, oh, and we also went to a fire recovery meeting in Doris with Drew Stroberg, and that was, they had some scientists there that talked about the science of recovery and planting and all kinds of things that they're going to do to help that forest recover out there. And that was also
Are you there, Giselle?
information, and we were happy to be able to comments or questions from anybody.
I was just going to say that Lorraine Miller is here from the Lake Shastina Fire Safe Council.
Oh yeah, Lorraine.
Just Lorraine, thank you. If she wanted to chime in on anything.
Yes, please, Lorraine.
She can't hear us.
I'm having some difficulty myself, and I think others are too. It's just not stable, the internet tonight.
The other thing I thought people might be interested to hear that you went up to Happy Camp for the community liaison workshop.
Yes.
It wasn't a workshop, meeting.
Thanks for bringing that up. That's very important. Hang on a second. So in years past, we had a community liaison program, and it's basically we choose, or each fire safe council chooses a person to be a liaison back to the agencies, to CAL FIRE or Forest Service, and back to the IC on the events. And what they do is they give the IC to the opportunity to interact with community. So you can share community maps, you can share community information, things that they may not know. And in the past, it was very successful. And during the Slater fire, even though the liaison program was not in place, they used community liaisons and saved some lives in some communities or some little burgs that had about 9 people in it, they said, and they would have not known they were up there. And they were able to get up there and help them evacuate. And that's why community liaisons are important. So it is our hope to put on another workshop using Salmon River Restoration Council's Karuna's program, and she can come and share it with us and tell us how we can do it. But if you all are interested in learning how to be a community liaison, we can't all be. I mean, they only want a few people. That's the whole purpose. So the whole community doesn't converge on, you know, the fire camp during a fire, but there's a few people with local knowledge that can share with the IC or whoever's in charge at the time, and give them good information to help protect the citizens. So if you're interested, let me know, and we will put together a workshop describing how you can become a community liaison and build that program. So,
Hey, Giselle.
anyway.
It's
Yeah.
Jen Erickson. Hi.
Hi.
So the Klamath does maintain a list of community liaisons.
Mhm.
I think in the past that maybe it's been a more of an active program, but actually Kimberly and I were just looking over the list the other day. So it's something that we have continued to use, and we give to incoming IMTs, to their public information folks, and also to the ICs. So I'd love to tie in with you on that and learn about the workshop you guys are planning.
Yeah, you know, you would absolutely be a part of that. Karuna Greenberg, like I said, she presented down in Happy Camp, and Will Harling was a part of that. And she had a good list with bullet points on what to do and who to talk to and how to make it work, and how to partner with our partners and have success during the event of a fire. And yeah, absolutely. You would be key, Jennifer, in doing that. So we haven't set it up. I've asked Karuna if she'd be willing to come and share what she shared there, and she said she would. So as soon as we can, probably when the season is coming to a close, and maybe not that it'd be too late, it might be better for next year, but everybody's just so busy right now. And so if we can put together another workshop, moving on, is a nonprofit workshop. We talked to a local nonprofit CPA, and they would like to put on a workshop to talk to all the nonprofits about how they can keep their nonprofit books healthy, and they'll do the things that they need to do to keep their nonprofit healthy. And we were planning to do one of those in the fall as well. So, any other questions? Comments? All right, well, next meeting is in August, and it's August 10th is the second Wednesday, but it's also the first day of the fair. So I'm thinking maybe we would defer for August, since we have the fair and the outreach there, unless you want to have a meeting and on another day. Any comments?
Hey, Giselle. It's
Yeah.
Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi. I just I didn't know if you're gonna do open forum at all. I just had a quick question, and also had a comment for you. That Anna Wright, I don't know if you heard, but Anna Wright was detailed, and she just recently reached out and she didn't get the position on the Shasta T. It's Brian Murphy. So Brian Murphy's the new fuels officer for the Shasta McLeod Ranger Unit, or not Ranger Unit, Management Unit. Just so everybody knows. I'm sure it would be good to get him, reach out. I can send you his email so you can get him here, or to Kristen as well, and get him on your list. If you
Yeah,
don't know that.
he actually, Janelle connected with him because Mark
good.
Tibbetty was out of town, or was detailed or deployed. I don't know all the right lingo. But so Brian, for the 4th of July outreach event, he dollied over some of the One Less Spark chain
Good.
covers and
Okay.
can coolers for us. So we got to meet him and talk to him for quite a while. So that was great to meet him and make that connection. He's a great guy. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And Anna's gonna leave a gap. I'm sorry she's had to.
Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, anyway, yeah, they're both good hands, and it's always hard when two good people up on.
Yeah.
The other thing, I just was a quick question, and I haven't heard anything. I wondered if you guys had, I'm sure you probably have, but the FEMA grant that Alex was pursuing, is that still in the process, or, and have you heard?
What I understand is they're still waiting from FEMA. It's a longer process than most of our grants, so it's still in the queue.
Okay,
We're
good.
just waiting on them.
Good, thanks.
Yeah.
I can ask him. He just got home. If you want me to go grab him, Alex. Hey, Alex. Is there any new updates on the FEMA grant? Still just waiting.
No, they're actually today. They're advancing it.
Oh, he just heard today that they are advancing it. So
there you go. That's good news.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
timing. Good
What's
timing.
that mean? What's advancing it mean? Does that mean
Going
that
forward.
grant is being considered?
Yeah, I mean, I have to answer some questions, and then they'll advance it to FEMA, and then FEMA approves it.
So he just has to answer some, questions, and then they advance it to FEMA, and FEMA approves it.
Oh, nice. So it sounds like we're moving forward with that one. That'll be very awesome. So, okay.
For sure. Now it's like, yeah,
I mean,
it's not 100% for sure, but
No. It just means it hasn't gotten pitched yet. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
it says it's
Right.
pretty much a for sure thing.
Okay, good.
But it's
Thanks.
that whole process of advancing it to FEMA and getting that approval takes a year. So
Right. Got it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Any more questions before we sign off? Well, thank you, everyone, for coming. We had a good turnout, and I think a lot of good information was disseminated. I'm just.
What did we decide about August 10th?
Oh, well, nobody responded, so we're going to have to leave that with the board, and Margie's on the board, and we'll talk with the board and see what they want to do. But, if you have an opinion, put it in the chat. If you want to meet on August 10th, say, yes, I want to meet. If you don't want to meet, if you want to defer till September, say something about that too. And then it will be up to the board of directors to make that final call.
seems like it would be good to not lose momentum, and could we just do it the 9th, the day before, do it on a Tuesday? Is that possible?
That's a possibility. Yeah. If everybody's in agreement to do it like that. Yeah. So, but I know a lot of people will be at the fair. That's the opening night. So
Tuesday night.
It's Wednesday night is the opening night of the fair, the 10th. That's what I have in my calendar.
This is Linda. We should all go out and support you at the fair and network a little bit with each other, and maybe defer the meeting and try to meet in person at the fair.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It'd be an in-person meeting of sorts, huh?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be a meeting, but it would just be networking.
Networking. Okay, sounds good. Well, I thank you for that. Anybody else have an
Well,
opinion?
you could always call an emergency meeting or something if something, comes up.
Oh, yeah, good point. So,
Otherwise, postpone it till September.
okay.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, everybody's opinion is great. That's a great opinion. I like it.
Okay.
So, all righty, you guys. Well, it looks like we're done at 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's not too bad, huh? So give me a call if you have more questions or if I can help. You know where I'm at, and I hope I can do the same with you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Everyone, bye-bye.
Bye.